Good evening and thank you for joining us for the School District of the City of Dearborn regular meeting, November 8th, 2021. It is 7:09. We are getting started a few minutes late due to a run over on a previous committee meeting. At this point, I will bring the meeting to order and ask for a roll call. You're on mute, Trustee Moser. We still can't hear you.
Uh-oh.
Now we can.
I just see the signal here on my end.
Can you hear us now?
I can hear you, yes.
Go
But can
for
you
it.
hear me?
Yep.
Now you can hear me?
No, not at all.
Don't tell him.
I can't help
Yes.
myself.
Adam, don't listen.
Go
to
for
him.
it.
Would you
Okay, how about now? Is this better?
You're fine,
Yes.
Adam.
Okay, great. Trustee Barry?
Here.
Trustee Patrick D'Ambrosio?
Here.
Trustee Roxanne McDonald?
Here?
Trustee Adam Moser here in Winter Garden, Florida. Trustee Mary Petlishkov?
Here.
Trustee Irene Watts?
Here.
President James Thorpe?
Here. Next item.
Great. Pledge of allegiance to the flag. Mr. Chadi Farhat, principal of McCollough Elementary, will introduce students who will lead the Pledge of Allegiance.
That's not Mr. Farhat.
Hi, good evening. President Thorpe, Board Trustees, thank you so much for having us here. On behalf of myself, Mr. Farhat, and Ms. Kobasi, we thank you. It is an honor to introduce to you three amazingly awesome aviators this evening. We have Jenna Sheikh Zaini, Zainab Balut, and Nermeen Zindani. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good job.
Come on up, you three.
And I love the coordinated dress.
Jenna, thank you very much. Zainab, thank you for your help. Nermeen, you did awesome. Thanks a lot. Next item, please.
Next item is Superintendent's update.
Appreciate the students coming. Good evening, everyone. We did get a little picture in front of the big sign out front and excited to have students again. I'll go through agenda and non-agenda items. I'm going to start with our retirement. Roger Hedglen Jr., 22 years of service. Nora Musabli, over 24 years of service. And Patrick O'Reilly, 33 years of service. If we can congratulate them and thank them for their many years of service in the district. So I'm going to move along to agenda items. I know the board received this went out publicly. It's not often that we get all the educational associations, the big names in the states that are concise, but we had AFT Michigan, MASB, the School Board Association, MASA. I'm on the executive board, the State Superintendent, MAA Union, MASSP, the Secondary School Principals Association, and then the Intermediate Superintendents Association and Middle Cities. And I'm also on Middle Cities as the president serving this year. So one of the things they put out was just, for public comment, everyone has the right for free speech, but that they're asking jointly for civility as we come to board meetings and we interact with educators. And so that was a joint statement. It was out by all the associations, and so I wanted to mention it. I know the board received it, some of you may have received it, and I want to thank everyone who does come in public comment and follow different protocols. So just wanted to put that out there. I also want to mention Oakman Elementary. As some of you are aware, some of you may not, the school was actually closed for about a week because of a major pipe issue. That school is approaching 100 years old. I want to say that our staff really worked extremely hard within the rain conditions. I actually went out there. I want to commend the staff. I know the board was getting constant updates. We had an issue with the boiler, we had an issue with the water flow, and we had multiple plans that we put together. In fact, I think it helps us moving forward for future closures because of the system that we had in place. We actually planned, again, I know we don't want to go virtual, but we had that as a backup, and then we had other backup plans as to where we were gonna move staff. In fact, at one point, we got the boiler working, and we were gonna bring in a trailer bathroom system that we ordered, and then that very day, they were able to get it working. The city also helped us as well, and so we appreciate their support to get that school up and running. And I want to make a special thanks to our plumbers, Dan Azaparty, Mike Bennett. I know the engineer, Ali DeGish, over there worked hard. I can tell you, Roselle DeBailey, our interim executive director, Mark Andrews were on the phone constantly with me. I know our partner, Russ Cavaluna, was willing to step in and help the entire executive cabinet to get that school up and running so that there would be a loss of minimal instruction for our students, Mr. Abarusa, and then his teachers and his entire staff. So the staff really worked hard, and I want to commend them for the work they did during, that closure with all the rain we've received. And I know a lot of people are kind of tired of dealing with those flooding situations. So I'm going to call up David Mustonen, and we're going to talk about the potential for bringing a community committee together for a bond. And he's going to talk about the process that we did discuss with the Building and Site Committee last week. And we've been planning this for quite a while. We have put everything on hold in a COVID situation, but we've been planning along the way, and I know the board's been getting updates. So we're going to allow David to make a few comments on the process.
Thank you, Dr. Maleko. Good evening, board. So as Dr. Maleko stated, this will hopefully be the first of many updates that we'll be providing you regarding our progress moving forward, looking at the possibilities of another bond initiative placed on the ballot in the future. Just as we did in the past, and actually this district has quite a long history of involving community members in any kind of major planning and infrastructure needs. I was doing some research the other day and went through and found some updates that were provided. They were some brochures from the 1950s, 1940s of a citizens committee coming together to help the school district plan their infrastructure and facility needs. And so this goes back a long way. It's part of the culture of this district. So I'm very excited to kind of share with you how we are planning to go about doing this as we move forward here in planning for our next potential bond issue. We will be soliciting community members from the entire community to step forward and commit to a series of meetings beginning in January. They will be once a week for about 5 or 6 weeks. That committee will then make some recommendations to this Board of Education on the possible facility and infrastructure needs of the district. We are soliciting, this all starts now, actually, so that within the next month or so, we will be putting out communications asking for community members who are interested in serving on this committee to submit an application of interest, and then we will sort through all of those and then try to narrow it down. And depending on the numbers, we're looking for a committee of about 40. If we get more than that, then we'll look at how we can best utilize the talents and skills and interest of those who are interested in being part of this. So that is really where we're at right now, and that's the next phase, is this communication that will soon be coming out that will allow community members to submit an application of interest to be part of this committee that will help us in planning out some facility and infrastructure needs of our district moving forward.
Trustee Watts.
So if there are community members who are asking where's this application going to be, do we have a site for them that we can direct them?
Of course, yes. As we do with everything, it will be right on our webpage. I highly encourage everybody to not only just look at the webpage, but to follow the first bell, which is a part of our webpage. That is the news and information section of the webpage. And so there's always updates and all kinds of great things going on there. But you'll be able to find that link on the, right on the front page of the website when we launch it here within the next couple of weeks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. So I'll move along with my commentary.
Trustee Moses, did you have a question? I didn't see your hand.
Yeah. No, it's not a question, but a comment. And regarding both items that Dr. Maleko mentioned. First one is Oakman Elementary. I was, like my colleagues, we're getting daily updates, and I would like to also commend the team for putting everything that they have, and especially the people who were on the ground. I attempted to visit the site 2 times, but I was not able to. But I do appreciate all of the constant updates, and I was thrilled that we were able to get the boilers working and the students back in the classroom. And if this would tell us something, obviously, that our infrastructure is really in dire need. These boilers are obviously a very old system, and they need to, we really, as a city and as a district, we need to look in the mirror and say that we really have to invest in our schools and bring them to the 21st century as far as energy and as far as infrastructure, and of course, where our students spend most of their day inside these classrooms in our schools. So which leads me to the next one, to the next point about the bond or possible proposal to the community. This is a testament to say that our school buildings are aging and they need quite of help. So I'm really glad that students are back in the classroom, and I once again appreciate not only the people who were working on the ground, but also the teachers and the staff who made it possible through virtual or distance learning to continue getting the students engaged. So thank you once again.
Thanks.
Thank you. So I wanted to mention that we, obviously retention and recruitment, we're in a tough market right now with staff shortages across the board, not only teachers, but all staff. And we are realigning some staff for retention and recruitment efforts. We're gonna look to talk to our unions about having maybe some committees on retention and recruitment. And I know I talked to Trustee Moses about that, and others have brought that up. We are also continue to do this, and we've settled letters of agreement with our different groups to give back and to retain staff and to recruit. And so we will continue to work with the representative union groups on compensation for them that will benefit our employees and also benefit the district and our students. And we're talking right now, and we'll continue to do that. So I wanted everyone to be aware. The positive thing right now, and some of us remember the times when we were talking about reductions. We're not talking about any reductions. We're talking about additional compensation, across the board, and we're happy to be able to give it to our employees that, deserve it. And we know it's been a tough almost 2 years now during the pandemic. So wanted to mention that, and to go along with that, transportation. Transportation is in a very shaky state across the state and the nation. Some districts have had to shut down and or reduce routes. We wanted to put on public notice that there is the possibility. Right now, we're okay. But if we had some situations where, we wouldn't have enough drivers, or we wouldn't have enough, if we'd have quarantines, for example, with the COVID, we could be in situations where we wouldn't have the ability to run routes. We'd have to make decisions. Mr. Wall, Mr. Andrews, Mr. Sortrez, and I know we're here, we're gonna be recognizing transportation staff today, and we appreciate the great work that they do. But it is a realistic situation happening right now, so we wanted everyone to be aware. I know the team, and they're coming out, they work very hard, and a lot of the drivers are doing extra routes to keep things going when we've had shortages. So I just want to mention that. And then the other thing, just to mention the vaccine. So we've had some different news on that front. We've promoted that. We've run multiple clinics in our schools. Educators are now eligible because we're early on for the booster as well. I know you can I got my booster at a pharmacy. We're eligible, but we're also looking to partner with the Wayne County Health Department with the news that 5-year-olds to 11 can get vaccinated. So we're looking at opening several sites at the schools, and we're partnering with different organizations. C-Assist is one of them, but it's the health department, and we're gonna look to spread those out as well, once we're able to get them. And, you know, we've been, some of you might be aware, we offered a clinic just recently at Dearborn High, for example. That was for the adults, but we are gonna continue to support and provide those opportunities. I also want to mention, because it's probably on the mind of individuals, and you probably heard with the Biden administration and the mandate for vaccines. Now, this applies to staff. We're continuing to review that. I've already spoken to, for example, President Mazza. We're going to have conversations. We were very proactive for two reasons with our employees. One is because we did, provide multiple opportunities way back in January, I think it was February, March, through the hospitals to get the vaccine. So we actually coordinated that for a lot of staff, so we had a good idea. But we also put out voluntary collection of vaccine cards, because under the previous MIOSHA rules, if you had the card, you wouldn't have to do the daily check-in sheet. We had a large number of staff that have already voluntarily submitted them. Now they'll be required, or there will be required testing. We're gonna work on the details of that. I do know there is a stay at the federal level. But the word I've been getting is that it may or may not affect the deadline. So what we got to do is prepare for that. But we want to make sure we're fair for staff. So that is coming. I wanted to put that out there, and more information. We've had attorneys weigh in, and our associations will be weighing in as well. And we'll make sure we do what is right and aligned with the law. The other thing I just want to mention, and a reminder to students. With social media, and I know we talked about it last time, but you got to be really careful. There's these TikTok challenges and these things that are just, we had a discussion at the policy committee meeting. You got to be careful, students, and parents remind the students for things they do that can get them into trouble and not only damage other students, but damage school property, things of that nature. So we want to, think twice before just jumping on these challenges. I'm a big proponent of using social media, but in a positive, not for negative or for bullying or other things that it can do harm to other individuals. So we will continue to promote that, and we'll continue to promote safety on social media. We'll continue to promote the positive and continue to do what we think is right, and thank the adults that are role models for the students or other student leaders. We talked about that in the policy committee. We have senior students through some of the Link crew and others that are going to be role models, and show them the right way to post on social media. It should be a positive way. So thank you.
Trustee McDonald.
Yeah, I just wanted to clarify something. You talked about the Biden administration vaccine mandate, but it's vaccine or test.
Or test,
You can
correct,
act out
yeah.
of the vaccine if you get
Correct.
tested. I just wanted to clarify that.
Trustee Barry.
Dr. Malik, I want to go back to transportation. I am very thankful to our bus drivers that come in every day, and they're doing their absolute best. But I would hate to sit at this table and make a decision to close down a district because lack of bus drivers, transportation. This was an issue in our district way before COVID. So I don't know. I wish I had the answers for us, but we gotta just like really concentrate, think outside the box. We can't keep saying that's how it is in other districts, what have you. We're the third largest district. We have a budget. There. So let's think of what else can we do. I know we offered the $500 signing bonus. That didn't work. We need to step it up a little bit. I'm hearing from parents that their kids, parents that drop off their kids at school, especially at the middle schools, and because of the buses running late, for obvious reasons, we know we don't have to talk about that. Some of the teachers are waiting for the rest of the class to get in before they start. And if you lose 15, 18 minutes in that first class, how much hours, how much time is being lost of instructional time? If we sit there and add that up, I'm sure it's not going to be good. But the point is, what else can we do? We have to step it up and somehow, some way, solve that problem.
Trustee Pelichkov.
Well, and this might be something that Mr. Andrews is going to have to answer, but on that note, from the reporting I'm seeing on the news, they're going to be changing the federal mandates with written tests and a lot of other roadblocks that are going to be thrown at us in order to either hire new drivers and or maintain the staffing that we already have. And I don't know how prepared we are to move forward when we also have a lot of bureaucracy that is going to complicate things, whether it be, and they were saying, besides having these written tests that the federal government is requiring, they don't have the staff to look at all of this paperwork in a timely fashion either. I mean, everything is going to be, we're seeing over and over again about, the shipping issues and all these other things. Well, it's coming home to roost even at the local level with how our bureaucratic system kind of bungs up the process. And so I want to make sure that, if we're going to be dealing with that, how do we get ahead of that as well?
Trustee McDonald?
I just wanted to add on this subject that as a board, we have always wanted to keep our bus drivers, and never wanted to outsource that aspect of our service. So, and I still believe that we think that is terribly important because those bus drivers are part of our community. They are part of, the money that they earn comes back to our community, and they care about our students. They take the job to heart. So I just wanted to make sure that everybody know that that's still where, as far as I know, where this board sits. And we want that to be part of the service we provide. But we do have to look outside the box and figure out how we can do it because we're meeting some really incredible challenges.
I would close with the fact that the bus driver is the first district employee that sees the student in the morning and the last one to see the student at the end of the day. So they are our first and last point of contact, and we need to make sure that that's taken care of. So as a district, come up with contingency plans, whether it's for the busing situation or running into a burst pipe and a broken down boiler. We have to have more contingencies than ever before in COVID. All right, next item, please.
Next item is recognition and acknowledgements. First one is National Blue Ribbon, Henry Ford Early College and Haigh Elementary.
Yes. So I'm going to ask all of them to come up together. We can have Haigh and the Henry Ford Early College, and we want President Cavalluna and any staff that are here, maybe Haigh on to my left, your right, and over on this side. We do have some video that will play from Washington as well, and we're going to call up the principals to speak. We were in Washington last week, and this is something that I know the board is proud of. I know the teachers are proud of. I know our principals, all of our staff. I want to mention this as well. We have some pictures from DC. Statistically, we're one of only 2 districts in the state that can say they've received 5 blue ribbons in 5 years over the same time frame. There's 8,100 schools, more than 8,100 in the state of Michigan, and 13 awards were given this year. It's about 13 every year. That's a 0.001 chance of receiving it. Nationally, 325. We were up with 325 of the best schools in the nation. And that is there's over 100, almost 140,000 schools in the nation. And that's a 0.002 chance of receiving the award. As you can see, we were with Senator Stabenow and Senator Peters, and we're fortunate enough to get a ride on their train to get into the chamber right next to the floor, the Senate floor. We talked to them about policy items as well, myself and President Cavalluna and the teachers and the principal. We were able to meet with Congresswoman Dingell. We talked about things like staff shortage, our college partnership, and the fact that really we do have a model here between the P12 and the college. And we talked about social emotional and COVID needs. We talked about financial support. And basically what we were doing is we're advocating policy, and they are with us. We also talked about assessments. We talked about flexibility, and the fact is, the federal government didn't allow it, but Senator Stabenow said to me she's for that, and she's tried to advocate as Dr. Rice. So we were up there as well. We had kind of a twofold purpose, but it was very exciting, and we're very proud of all of our. It's really a testament to the whole district, and I know. There we go. He's an elementary principal. What can I say?
I don't know who that man is.
Guess he put me up to it too. I was in there. We'll let that video play. It's in the background, but
Can we put that on repeat?
you know what? He wanted me to do a football kick, and I'm like, let's do a touchdown. Director Falola, where was your, no, and that, he had President Cavaluna though. But it was quite an honor to be up there. Congratulations really to the staff. You can see everyone was proud. We know we had Miss Nardoni and Miss Stevens. They only allow 3 people. They're very tight with security. That's all that can get in, and we were very excited. Here comes Mr. Director Falola and his team. But it is quite an honor when you're in that big room among the nation's, top school districts and schools and interacting with different individuals, and everyone is very proud. So, we represented the district, and so even though only 3 of us could go, there we go. Yeah.
Always.
Now, I will say, Mr. Short, Ms. Nardoni, and I went and did and we basically had that thing at every monument in DC, so I'm gonna.
Very good at
Yes.
getting it out smoothly.
So let's give them a big round of applause, and then I'm gonna let them.
I was just gonna say a few words.
Yes, I'm gonna let Principal Short and then Director
Okay.
Falola, and then I would love our partner, President Cavaluna, to come up after.
I usually always start with a joke. Dad humor, right? This one isn't too deep on it, but I was just gonna say for any future elementary school or middle school or high school in Dearborn, if you do win the blue ribbon, which I'm sure we're gonna win more of those, make sure you bring 2 pairs of shoes. Because Dr. Maleka will take you on an 8 or 9 mile walk. So I had to wear my Hey Dudes tonight. I know I shouldn't have. I should have worn my dress shoes. But the back of my heels are still a little worn out. So it was great though. We saw a lot. We got on, the Capitol right off the floor there. We had a lot of private meetings. So that was great. So thank you for that opportunity. Today I just want to thank the Haigh community. I've been there for 7 years now, which that went by really quick. Everybody always jokes and says, Mr. Short, when you started, your hair was brown, and now it's looking pretty gray. So that's one of our school colors, so I'm just matching it in there. But I want to thank the teachers, the teachers that have been at Haigh for the last 6 or 7 years with me, the teachers that have retired over the last 2 or 3 years, our PTA, the students at the building, our noon hours. We have some of our noon hours today, and our parents. Our parents have been a huge help. We know how much they help getting them to school. Packing those lunches. I always talk about that in our 5th grade promotion speech. I get it now because I have a 5 and 3-year-old at home. I'm like, man, you guys going to school tomorrow? Like, yeah, Dad. I'm like, all right, I gotta make your lunch. But just the amount of work, the saying that it says it takes a village, 100%. Getting them up in the morning, getting them to school. Our office staff that helps, our custodial staff that helps clean the rooms. Again, our PTA that puts on all the fun events for us, our teachers that work extremely hard, from about 7 in the morning to about 9:30 at night, guys, right? So just all the hard work over the last 6 to 7 years. I'm very proud of our community. We're definitely going to celebrate this together. So coming up in the spring, we're going to do a big outdoor event like we did for our open house. Hopefully everyone can wear blue on that. So we can get some great pictures for that for the Blue Ribbon Affair. We'll come up with a clever name for it, but that's one I just came up with. And then we're going to do some fun stuff as a staff. Last thing, Dr. Maleko, you'll like this one. We're treating the Blue Ribbon plaque like the Stanley Cup. So it's going to go visit. It's in Mrs. Rockwell's room right now. So we're starting with our 5th grade. It's going to be there for a week for pictures, right? And maybe they're... I hope they're not doing too much kissing of it, but mask on. I'll stop with the jokes. But anyways, it's going to stay with each classroom for 1 week. We got a Google folder going to upload the photos. And then our next staff meeting, we're gonna have some backdrops set up and get some great pictures as well. All right, and thank you guys, board, it's great to see you guys as well.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Malenko, thank you for a great
Congratulations.
trip.
Congratulations again to Haigh and all the prior winners of the Blue Ribbon. I'm gonna share my plaque with you. I'll pass it down. I'm gonna give it back. Good evening. As we received the award in DC, they told us, brag. So I'm gonna brag. 13 schools in the state of Michigan received Blue Ribbon this year, only one high school, 24 Early College. Since the inception of this award, only 9 high schools in the state of Michigan have won this award. We're the number 10. And if you look at the past high school winners, you talk about wealthy suburbs, Bloomfield Hills, Troy, and Arbor. We're a full Title I school with 70% poverty rate. We have ELL population. And for that, we have a lot of people to thank. I'm very, very proud of our students. I'm very thankful for the parents that trusted their kids with us. I'm extremely appreciative of the staff and faculty of Henry Ford College. Classes here. Without them, none of this could happen. I'm appreciative of Brian Whiston and Dr. Malenko for believing in us and leaving me alone for the most part. I know Jim Thorpe and Sam Billy visited me a couple of years ago. They said, what can we do for you? I said, leave me alone. I said, okay.
I didn't ask, I knew better.
For the one person that always challenged me, pushes me to do more and be more. We were coming back from the plane in DC, and she said to me, get off your high horse already. Your work is just beginning. My wife, Nina. Now I'm going to share with you the secret of our success. I have it right here. Some of them are already here, some are watching from home. I'm going to read to you the staff of Henry Ford Early College. Yusuf Al-Qamusi, Wala Ajami Saad, Sonia Baidoun, Laura Dillon, Michael Gothram, Tara Haddad, Brent Hojnicki, Hussein, Katie Myers, Arwa Mugalli, Jillian Pius, Brent Proctor, Brian Riley, Hassan Saad, Claudia Saad, Andrew Sayer, Hannah Shanir, Lara Spyskowski, Lisa Stevens, Matthew Schleif, our new assistant principal, Marwan Salemi, my office staff, Fadia Naji, and Danny Thornfeld, and we thank you.
Before you guys leave, and I'd like to have President Cavalluna come up, and I'm just going to tell you, the board, that I think they did a great job with this hire, President Cavalluna, because the partnership has continued to expand, and right now it's a national model, as you can see, and we're going to continue to expand. We're saving, parents and taxpayers millions of dollars with our joint programs, not only the early college, but our collegiate academy to our dual enrollment. We have data showing how successful our students are at the college, thanks to the work of the team and the joint partnership. So I appreciate too, President Cavalluna took the time out of his busy schedule to come up with us to DC. I'm gonna research this, but I think it may have been the only president/superintendent combo that has gone to the National Blue Ribbon. So we'll look into that, but I do appreciate it, and I welcome you to say a few comments, President.
Well, thank you, Mr. Superintendent, Mr. President, and trustees. Good to see you all, and I will not repeat much of what you've heard because it was all true. And I would like to share with you a few observations of the work that these two blue ribbons show, both to me as an observer and a citizen of the town that you all serve, but also what I witnessed in our nation's capital. But before I do, Zach, I have to tell you, that's a great idea about the Stanley Cup. But it will not work with the early college because I cannot believe Majid even gave it up for 5 seconds here today. I mean, trustees, you saw the pride that Mr. Fadlallah had as he walked onto that national stage. You saw that pride. And it is only rivaled by the pride that I see behind me in the teachers at the Henry Ford Early College. And it's not unique tonight. I go down to that, and the Henry Ford Early College could have a better spot, and we're working on that, Majid. But I go down to their spot, and I'll tell you, you can see people who have the pride that Mr. Fadlallah showed on the national stage, and the outcomes are there to see. Mr. Fadlallah outlined how rare it is for a community to have this kind of an award. But it's also rare to have your representatives sit with 2 United States senators in the capital of our country advocating for public education persuasively. And I know the trustees will find this amazing, but they did it so well, I didn't even have to say anything. And that is really, really a testament to how well they advocated. But if you're watching tonight, this early college, and Haigh is fantastic too. My kids go to another elementary school, which will be Blue Ribbon next year. But the early college saves millions of dollars for this community, puts high school students in college classrooms right away, and has them leave with an associate degree and a high school diploma with, in some instances, 3 years of free college. And it is a national model such that one of our United States senators and one of our congresswomen said to us, we're a national standard. They said that in the Capitol. That's something you can be extraordinarily proud of. And it's something that Henry Ford College is extraordinarily proud of also. And the last thing I'll just say is, I've lived in many towns in this state. I'm the son of an immigrant. I've lived in Detroit. I've lived in Lansing. I've lived in Grand Rapids. My kids were born in Grand Rapids. My dad was a public school teacher in Battle Creek, Michigan. I've seen public education through many lenses. And I'll tell you, as a citizen of this community, this is extraordinary but ordinary in Dearborn. If you look at the success rates that this public school system puts out, with its size, and frankly, with the challenges that it has, our diversity is wonderful, but it also provides some difficulties that schools that look and act the same don't have. Our income is not the highest, and our school district outperforms most of them, and it is, as I say, a United States senator said less than a week ago, a national standard. So you should be very, very proud, and that I was allowed to speak for them and that I'm allowed to work with them is a point of immense pride for me. And Majid, I see we've got a banner there. I imagine you can find some way to make that look better than the rest. Jokes aside, they're all fantastic. And Mr. President.
I'm gonna put the second one there in 2 years.
All right, all right. Yeah, if you don't know, the early college has focuses on careers. And this was one, and so he thinks he's entitled to 2 more because we've got 3 focuses in foci in our early college. But thank you for letting me speak. Thank you all for what you do for our community. And Mr. President, this frankly would not be possible unless you had a district that, despite all the challenges, is extraordinary.
Thank you all. Before you leave, we want to get a picture of each of the groups with your banners, and I'd invite any trustees that want to get into the pictures to please join in.
We'll do one at a time. We'll do one at a time, and then that way I want to stand up. Everyone smile. See, Zach, I got bad jokes too. Go the other way. All right, here we go. Okay, perfect. Thank you. Congratulations.
make one comment too. I just want to make one more comment too. I know President Cavaluna is very humble and he's crediting, but we appreciate what he was doing, and I'll tell you, he's very astute, and I learned from him as well, and I know our staff said the way he advocated for both the college and the P12, so the board should be aware of that. He's very good at what he does, and we were there together, and it was great to see the teachers interact with the senators and congressmen. So, thank you. Thank you, President, for the great partnership.
You're going to the next one.
All right, I'm gonna ask Rick Sortrez and Mark Andrews to come up. We are gonna start our. Now, we have a couple of things going on recognition, so I just want everyone to be aware. We're gonna be bringing up a different classification of employees every month as a group. Last month, we had parapros. We also have another recognition, and it may be small, but it's a way for staff to recognize each other. Staff have been working hard during COVID, and so we're recognizing transportation. We had a luncheon last week for all of our staff, and we've unveiled a program where staff can nominate other staff that have gone above and beyond to support them or to support students. So we want to recognize staff. Today, we also have the classification here of the transportation that we were talking about, and so I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Andrews and Mr. Sortrez, and I know they do a great job with their staff.
Mr. Sortrez, on behalf of recognizing this department. As I reflected on trying to think about what I could say, I couldn't find the words because, as some of you that know, I spent a good amount of time directly in that department, and the passion that I witnessed that these staff have for our students, I couldn't describe the gratitude I have for them. So I'm pleased to be here to recognize a small portion of them. I think we have a little over 15 that are here, but due to the limited capacity, we couldn't have everybody, so we're going to recognize the whole department. I just want to, the one thing I want to do is just put in perspective of what this staff does. They come up, they arrive at work in the dark, and a lot of times they leave in the dark. They show up at 5:30 in the morning, and a lot of times most of them will leave around 5:36, and some of them stick around for athletics and things like that. They might not leave until like 9 o'clock at night. They fight the elements, they fight the traffic, and they fight construction, and they do it while keeping our students safe. And let me just put this part in perspective. We transport about 5,000 students a day. So you take that to school and you take that home, and then multiply that by 185 days, they're transporting almost 2 million bodies in a school year. And they do that with such a great safety record. And I also want to point out, it's beyond our drivers and our bus attendants, it's our mechanics, it's our office staff. I just can't thank them enough. So with that, I'm gonna hand it over to Mr. Sortrez and let him recognize a few of the great staff that we have.
Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Good evening, President Thorpe, trustees, Dr. Maleko. I just want to let you know, too, I got an email from Mason and Mark that says, can you give me a couple names to recognize? Some of that do special things. And I thought about it over the night, and I was like, it's my whole department. Do you have room for my whole department? Mason said, just bring a little of them, please. So I just want to recognize a few of them today. It is the whole department that is a team. We come together, and students are first in our eyes. Nasser Berry. Melissa Daddario. Brenda Fiedler. Lisa France. Caitlin Humphreys. Venice Ledford. Kathy Lee. Carla Moylan. Janine Nash. Sharif Nusub. Lorraine Rodriguez. Najwa Sotras. Yvette Spencer. Sherry Tackett. This is just a small fraction of our team. We have awards for everyone, but a nice big applause for our team members.
And just like what we did with the Blue Ribbon Schools, any trustees that want to jump in on a picture, feel free.
We've got the sign here for who we'd like to go on. Oh. And maybe after you guys can go and get one by the big sign out on the side there.
Squeeze in, guys. You want
Come
to
this
go
way.
back?
From the front there a little bit. Short people moving.
Can I bring up is Tamika here too also? All right, who else? Pat Hartman
And Shanika.
and Shanika Smith. And Anna.
Get our hairstyles.
Anybody else who needs to be on the, okay. All right. There we go. Nice smiles. You guys look great. Yes. Perfect. Thank you.
No, you cannot take it home with you. All right, I'll make that. You have to give it back.
President Thorpe?
Trustee Moses.
Yes. Thank you. I would like to also recognize all the transportation staff and the bus drivers for their patience in, unfortunately, a city that has a problem of reckless driving. And I would like to remind citizens that, unfortunately, I have to say it, I'd like to remind citizens to always respect the school buses, to always stop whenever the stop sign is there, and to pass through whenever it's safe, and to give them the time that they need to transport our students, especially sometimes when they pick up students at early hours of the morning when there's not much visibility. So once again, I do not know how they do it, but I truly appreciate all of them. We did have a few snags in the beginning of the year. Some buses were a little bit late to our students, but I believe that they got the hang of it and they're able to meet their times and pick up students safely and also drop them off. So kudos to all of them once again. Thank you.
Trustee Watts.
And also not just our bus drivers, but our bus attendants as well, because we know that our bus drivers also have the attendants as well, so thank you.
And maintenance, our fleet is well maintained.
It takes a village.
The whole department.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Next item.
Yeah, we have commendations.
Good evening, trustees and President Thorpe and Superintendent Maliko. My name is Ryan Mirza. I am a senior at Dearborn High.
I'm Malak Alayan, and I'm also a senior at Dearborn High.
So we'll begin with our commendations. Commendations to Hilda Arani, instructional coach for Dearborn Teacher University and School Improvement. Ms. Arani was one of the presenters at the virtual Michigan Department of Education School Improvement Conference in October. She helped with a presentation on the continuous improvement process and shared her experiences with users who are new to the state's MICIP process. Commendations to all of the students who took part in the first annual Walk and Roll Junior Challenge. More than 930 students from 10 different schools spent the last several weeks competing to see which school could have the most walking or bike riding trips to and from school. Salina Intermediate came in first with 1,812 total trips, followed by McDonald with 1,523 and Lindbergh with 1,321. Thanks to Ryan Laser for his work with the partner organizations to bring this pilot program to the district. Special thanks to the following physical education teachers at the participating schools for organizing and tracking the results. Sean Peacher at McCollough, Eunice, Frank Haley-Bird at Howard, Jen Layson at Haigh, Teresa Blasco at McDonald, Arvin Carson at Salina Intermediate, Joe Mishniewicz at Salina Elementary, Joel Lesniak at Oakman Elementary, Brian Tapp at Whitmer Bowles, John Harvey at Lindbergh, and Caitlin Ball at Smith.
Commendations to the Business Services Accounting Department for being such an integral part of a successful audit for the 2020 to 2021 fiscal year. The Accounting Department, Rosie Bowie, Kimberly Summers, Carolyn Grislack, and Karen Fonce's hard work, dedication, and focus on handling the volume of details that are necessary for a successful audit is truly appreciated. The Accounting Department also would like to give a big thank you to Tom Wall, whose leadership, knowledge, hard work, and support is deeply appreciated. The Accounting Department commendations as well to Chris Misko, who retired September 30th, and contractor Mary Reynolds for their assistance. Thank you as well to the many other departments and employees across the district who assisted in answering questions and providing documentation needed by the auditors. Congratulations to the DHS varsity volleyball team and coaches Florin and Iona Veskin on finishing the regular season of their conference schedule as co-champions of the KLAA East Division. The team was 12-3 for the season. Commendations to Stout 8th graders Anud Mozip and Zara Barrow for participating in a Beyond Difference program, and to teacher Marla Wyachek for arranging Stout's participation in the program. The event was called Connection and Wellbeing, a celebration of Know Your Classmate Day. During the event, the Stout students were able to ask Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy, why did you want to become a Surgeon General? Commendations to the staff and students at Stout Middle School for their efforts to raise awareness of breast cancer. The school took part in several activities, and the sports teams wore pink socks during the month of October. Doctors and nurses who work directly with breast cancer patients at Beaumont Hospital heard about the great work the students at Stout were doing and sent them a short video thanking them for their efforts. Commendations to the following people and businesses for making the first annual Smith PTSA-sponsored Haunted Car Wash a huge success. With a line that stretched for many blocks, the event washed approximately 270 cars and scared more than 1,000 riders. More than 40 volunteers assisted with the event. Special thanks to the Smith PTSA Vice President and Events Chair Stacy Holland, who had the vision and was instrumental in planning and executing the event. Thanks to Ann Michelis, Stacy Brown, Amy Fradkin,
I think we'll be done.
PTSA President Robin Macklid, and all parent volunteers who were instrumental in making this event happen. Special thanks to O.L. Smith alum Sylvia Davis and the volunteers from Edsel Ford Drama Club, the Dearborn Clistlets, and the Dearborn Rotary Club for assisting with this event. A big thank you to all O.L. Smith parents and families who volunteered time and spooky items.
Special thanks to the local businesses for their donations and support. Westbourne Car Wash, owner Ollie Turfy. Dairy Queen Grill and Chill manager Joe Jesus. Howe Peterson Funeral Home. Lolly by Golly Sweet Shop. LaFontaine Automotive. Visual Ronin Media. And Sign Gypsies Downriver, owned and operated by O.L. Smith parent Amy Brzezowski for donating the awesome signage to our event. Congratulations to Lisa Jonas for being recognized by WNEM with their Excellence in Education Award in October. Ms. Jonas teaches at Oakman Elementary School. Thank you.
Malak and Ryan, stick around for a second. So we've had a tradition since President Cavalluna got to the college where he likes to grill whatever students have to get up and comment in front of us. I'll keep it basic. You both said you're seniors at Dearborn High. So what's next? What are you going to do after graduation?
So we're both planning on going to college.
Do you have an idea of where?
I'm just planning on seeing which schools give me the best scholarships. Right now, the goal is U of M Ann Arbor, though.
All right.
Same here.
All right. Thank you very much. Any trustees have any questions for our students before we let them get back to doing student things on a Monday night?
Well done.
All right.
Good job.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.